This webinar is about the July release, which is going to be coming out July 3rd. So July 3rd, we're going to have a new release coming out, and that's some of the features we're going to be talking about. During the summer months, we try not to be too feature heavy, and that's just because of peak operations. So some of these features, which we're going to go through here. Introducing myself, by the way, if you haven't met me, my name is Tiffany Blair. I am the EVP of Client Success and Solutions, and I've been with Gatemaster for over 18 years in November, and have been implemented hundreds of locations across the United States and 16 different countries. So I've been here for quite a while now. And if you don't know me, I'm sorry, that's my fault. But I also want to introduce you to two team members, Taj Saunders. She is one of our client success representatives. And then, of course, Ariana Blackwell, who is our executive assistant. And of course, their roles are vital to our success. So, of course, if anytime you guys need support, these are two individuals that you can always reach out to. Some of our new features that we will be releasing. One is we made some adjustments to the ability of the header and footers to add a little bit more custom branding. So when an email is sent with an online transaction, with the deliverables, so a ticket, you can add a header and footer to that so that it looks more similar to your branding and likeness. One of the other features that we've added was the ability to mask the sender email for the no reply at gatemaster.com so that you can have it look more like your facility and your branding. Another feature which is based on calendar dependencies. So this was designed for tours and classes that have, let's say you have a resource that works both the tours and classes. If you had two different calendars and the first calendar was booked, which is your primary calendar, it would close down the second calendar so that you don't have those options available to be sold. So they're working together, but they could be different types of calendars. Maybe there are 3 different types of classes, but you only have one teacher. So you want to be able to close down those other classes when one is booked. The ability to do a donation, an adjustable donation online. Currently, we can do a rounding up option or flat value, but now you'll be able to have an item on the e-commerce side that will allow you to choose whatever value or it'll allow the guests to choose whatever value they want to do for donations. I'm not exactly sure, but I think this could be used for adjustable items on the e-commerce, not just donations, but it is going to be a purchase item non-inventory type for those of you that know the different types of items in the database. We did add some additional logging to our log data report. So this was a big request of some people where they wanted to have the no sell button included in that. So every time a staff member hits that no sell button, we're going to track it in that log data report. You can also now look up a customer by first name. So it would be where you put the first name, and then you'd put a comma or space, and then the last name. And that would just allow you to search much easier for a guest. Because let's say maybe you have 50 Sam's, Smiths in there. Well, mostly Smiths, and as a last name, you can actually search by their first name to kind of narrow down that filtering. So to see the entire feature list, I recommend that you log into the user portal, and under the forms, we've got a list that we've created so that you can see some of the other feature requests or fixes that we've done over this last development cycle. This one I know is going to be a big one, this review of the future features. So in the next few weeks, I know this one's going to be big for Cox Farms here because this was one that they requested. The loyalty enhancements, that's going to be in this next portion of this current sprint. So we kind of do 2 different cycles of 1 sprint. And then also in the future development, this is actually a really big project, so it's quite heavy of a lift for us, but it will be out towards the end of the fall season so that we can start to prepare for the upcoming year with some of the season pass sales and things like that. Because I don't know if some of you guys have used the Google Wallet, and I think Apple changed theirs to Wallet too as well, but it really is a really nice feature just to be able to load your pass or ticket into, these platforms and make them a little bit more accessible to the end user. Tentative release dates, and this is not including the mini sprint, and I'm sorry about that. I didn't think to add that in there, but the next tentative release date is going to be the next release is July 3rd, but the next tentative release date is going to be August 21st. Then September 25th. And of course, we're going to keep you updated on all these different release dates. If you're not scheduled for a monthly meeting, please make sure that you meet with Taj or I can have her reach out to you to schedule that monthly meeting, because that's where we're going to be discussing any new features or functions or, release dates, things of that nature that you need to be aware of. If you need pro services, so what we call pro services is anything that includes adding of seats, authorized sites, mobile stores. Recently, we released a self-service kiosk, so that's a feature that you can use. That was in the last release cycle. Really cool. It just allows the guests to self-service a little bit better. Some development services are always going to be custom development. So if there's a feature you want right now and you need, or you want us to ensure that it's in the release cycles, let us know. And Taj will help you get a quote and understand what that looks like. So custom development, adding on seats. Oh, the other thing that I really wish people would use is the pull display. What I like about the pull display, and this is just an example of it, is that you can add information on the side as far as ads. Maybe it's a coupon, or maybe it's to advertise a second sister location. So that's the pull display, which would be guest facing. Come visit with us. I actually just got back from the IAPA meetup at the Silver Dollar City, which was super awesome, by the way. Great company. So I highly recommend, because they are really informative. They're great events put on by IAPA. But this next event is at Carowinds. It's July 9th. Sandra Shannon, our CEO, she will be attending the event. I believe it's an afternoon event too as well. So if you don't have a lot of time, this is probably a better one to go to. Oops. And then Cedar Point is the next IAPA meetup, and that's going to be July 25th. So I'm not too certain who's going to that one, but I believe Sandra Shannon will also be there too as well. That one, I believe it's going to be an all-day event, and we absolutely will be there. So another opportunity to meet with our CEO and also meet with Gatemaster team members directly. If you haven't seen our Live with Sandra's, we've had some really great episodes recently. So I highly recommend the last 4. They were about customer service and, employee experiences and those kind of things. So don't miss out on the next Live with Sandra. I'm lucky enough to be a special guest on July 3rd. We're going to be talking about some strategies. And if you want to be a guest on Live with Sandra, just scan this QR code. We believe that everybody's opinions matter. Your insights matter. And in order to help inspire and grow this industry, please, if you're wanting to or willing to, scan this QR code, sign up, and I believe it'll be either Ariana or Destiny will reach out to you to kind of discuss next steps beyond there. But it is a really good platform for you to share your stories. So this section is about any questions that you may have. So right now, if you wouldn't mind putting that in the chat, any questions you have, Ariana will let us know.
Yep, and you can use the chat or the Q&A. Let me see here. Oh, I think we have one so far. Can Gatemaster book cabanas and pavilion rentals?
Yes, absolutely. Gatemaster can book cabanas and pavilions. We can do that on both sides of the system. So when I say both sides, that would be the e-commerce side as well as the POS side. On the e-commerce side, we can do things like cabana mapping so that the guest knows exactly where the cabana is that they're booking. And you can also do multiple cabanas in a single transaction too as well. In that same process, we can also upsell things like tickets, meal vouchers, whatever additional products that you feel a cabana or pavilion rental would require.
Okay, another question that we have, does Gatemaster offer timed tickets?
Yes, Gatemaster does do time ticketing, and it can be done in a lot of different ways. So it could be an any day date specific ticket where we're just saying that's the day, or it could be sessions. So it could be, a 10 p.m. session, an 11 p.m. session, and every hour, or it could be every 30 minutes. So those variables we can adjust, or we could do it based on the session versus time. So there's a lot of different ways of doing date specific, time specific tickets. But yes, we can do those too as well.
Okay, another question here. Does Gatemaster do mobile ordering for in-park food sales?
Yes, Gatemaster can do mobile ordering for in-park food sales. Basically, what happens is we create a page that communicates to a kiosk simultaneous, or not a kiosk, I'm sorry, a kitchen screen, KDS screen. And simultaneously, while those functions are happening, it's also informing the guest via text that their order was received, that their order has been completed, and also ready for delivery or pickup. So it has multiple options. It's not just pickup. You can deliver to cabanas, you can deliver to tables. So it really is a flexible system as far as mobile ordering goes. And you can close down the mobile ordering via the kitchen screen if, let's say, you get too backed up and you want to have some time or a breather to kind of catch up. But mobile ordering, I think, isn't just for food and beverage. It could also be for gift shop items. So let's say you're in a line, the guest is in a line, you can have some QR codes that says, buy your, the facility that I was at was called Silver Dollar City, and they had a line that, a ride called Fire in the Hole. So while you waited in the line, you could buy your Fire in the Hole merch, right? Well, we can do something very similar. And then you can go to the gift shop and pick up your items and have those ready so that you're not, you have more time to spend on the rides and not necessarily in a line waiting for food or in a line waiting for, a gift shop item or to purchase those things. So, yep, we absolutely can do that.
Perfect. So another question, can Gatemaster print ID cards? So like memberships or season passes?
We absolutely can print your traditional ID cards out of the system. It does require card presso software and then the ID card printer, of course. You would need an ID card printer that's compatible with card presso. But yes, we absolutely can do ID card printing in addition to the digital cards too as well.
Okay, just a side follow-up question to that. Where can people find the approved hardware so that they know that their tickets or whatever can print directly with our system?
Sure. So that is a great question. I would submit a ticket into our Gatemaster user portal. And we have a document that then specifies the specs for the different parts of the program. So depending on the use case of the system, you would have different hardware requirements. And then we also have a hardware store that you can purchase products from. It's a partner of ours, so it's not actually a Gatemaster hardware store, but they would have the approved equipment that we have worked with in the past with other clients. So just submit a ticket and we'll get that information right over to you.
Okay, perfect. Another question. Does the system allow for Google tracking codes or Facebook pixels?
It does. So we do have an integration with Facebook Pixels, which I believe now is Meta Pixels. It's different since they've kind of merged with Instagram, I guess you would say. But then we also have the Google tracking too as well, integration, and all you have to do is drop that code, but you do have to get the codes from those different platforms, and then it's just a field that you drop that information into, and that will allow you to gather data about the e-commerce and whether or not a customer buys.
All right. The next question, can Gatemaster do single sign-ons?
Yes, we can do single sign-ons. We can do single sign-ons for Facebook, Twitter, which is now X, and Google. But you do have to get your credentials from your company page on those different platforms. And then we just plug that in and then it automatically pops up.
All right. And I think this is the last question that is in the chat. Can you do tax exempt for schools, nonprofits, and churches, etc.?
Yes, we can. There is a type of item in the system called a credit tax exempt. And that button can be, you can create different variations. I'm huge on tracking. So if it's school groups tax exempt, you might create a different item for school groups tax exempt than let's say you would a church group. And that way you can kind of track what is this button or item being applied to specifically, and then be able to understand those different metrics. But yes, as far as can we do tax exempt? Yes, we can.
Okay. Oh, I see another email coming, or not email, but question coming through. Does Gatemaster do gift certificates for season passes or other events?
Yes, we can do gift certificates. So I typically recommend that the facilities choose to do gift certificates over gift cards. Gift cards are more of a liability, so you have an outstanding balance because there's cash. Whereas if you do a gift certificate that's redeemable for this specific item, that is considered a merchandise item and not a liability. So 100% we can do that in the system. It's called item entitlement, where we're entitling somebody to a specific item. And that can be done on site and it can also be done online too as well. So yes, gift certificates, it could be a day ticket, it could be a meal voucher. The only difference is some items have a cost at the end and some don't. So in the case of a gift certificate, the redemption is free.
Sweet. We do have another one. Can Gatemaster use ID Me? So, clarification, ID Me for military discounts.
Oh, so on the point of sale, they do have to verify manually. So currently, and that's a really good question. Online, typically it would be at the discretion of the facility, but currently right now that it's not a function that exists, but it is a great idea for a future feature request.
Okay. Are there any more questions before we move on? That was a really good Q&A session there.
Yes, thank you, everyone.
All right. I don't see anyone typing, so Tiff, you can take it away.
Cool. So we'll go to the next slide here. Now, this is just ways to contact us, ways to understand what Gatemaster is doing, because we're actually evolving quite a lot. And so, of course, we have our Facebook page, our LinkedIn page, Instagram, and YouTube. If you're not signed up for our newsletters, I highly recommend that. And actually, Ariana, who would they reach out to if they want to see if they're signed up for newsletters?
They can reach out to me or Tajna. We can just double check their email.
Okay. And if you're part of the newsletters, you would likely receive the updates and announcements too, about, new features and those kind of things. And then of course, we'd love for you to join some of our events that we're going to be having throughout the year, in addition to the IAPA meetups that we're attending, those other types of events. Because I believe we are having a IAPA party, which I don't think is announced yet. So I'm sorry if I'm getting ahead of myself, but Yeah, we've got a lot of things planned for the year, and some Gatemaster summits, things like that. So just keep your eyes open because we definitely like for everyone to participate in those events. So just scan this QR code right here, and this will prompt our link tree so that you can connect with us on all of our social media platforms. I believe it also has a link to the Live with Sandra too, so uh, you can also view that there too as well. But I highly recommend if you haven't watched the Live with Sandra's, please do. They're full of information. They're just great. So we really appreciate her for doing those. And if there isn't anything else, I want to thank everybody for joining us today. And we'll keep doing these webinars every time we have a release, and also anytime we have additional information. And if you have feedback on webinars that you want us to do, please send us a message and say, hey, I'd like to have a webinar on X, Y, and Z, and we'll try putting one together because we're really trying to make better efforts at one, communicating with our customers, making sure they're aware of what we're doing, but then also providing educational and documentation to better serve you. So just if you have an idea, please reach out to us, say, hey, I want to see a webinar on this, and we'll do our best to put one together for you. So I think that's it, right, Ariana? I think we're good to go, and I appreciate everyone.
Yep, that is it. Thank you guys so much for joining us today. And thank you, Tiffany, for leading us through everything. I'll let you take the outro for how to connect with you.
Awesome. Well, of course, you can always reach out to me at tiffany@gatemaster.com. I'm also on LinkedIn, so pretty big on LinkedIn right now. So just, if you want to send me a message there too as well. You can also reach me through the user portal too. So if something needs to be addressed, we're here for you. And yeah, thank you very much. I appreciate everyone.